Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Bettina.
Thank you for being Paul Pack's guest today. We have asked you for your help in encouraging progressive women to run for office because, as you know, unfortunately, women need more encouragement than men to run.
Mhm.
You are just a little introduction. If there's the rare person who doesn't know you, you are a teacher, educator, and director of Project Elevate at the University of Arkansas, and a wife and a mother. You are also a pioneer in the education of multilingual students and co-founder of the two nonprofit organizations, One Community and Hispanic Women's Organization of Arkansas. Do I have all that correct? Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 2 years ago, you ran for a seat in the Arkansas House of Representatives in District 9, which covers Springdale.
Yes.
You would have been the first Latino or Latina to be in the state legislature, and you only lost by 109 votes, right?
Yes.
Can you tell our viewers why you ran and why you would encourage women to run?
Yes. I ran because I have lived in my community for over 26 years now, and it has the largest multilingual population in the state in terms of the district itself. And as an educator, education, it's still continuing to find and provide providing access to my community in various ways, and that access so that they can have access to literacy or education, higher education, health care, mental health care resources, and of course, good quality jobs. And so, because of my work in the community, as you mentioned, the nonprofits, but also just various organizations, and having worked in Springdale and also being part of Springdale schools. We have a lot of schools, and I know a lot of families, related to my work. So I just felt compelled to run because we have the largest population with multiple cultures and languages. That's an area that I have been working in since I moved to Arkansas over 26 years ago. And so over 60% of the kids in the school district come from a home where English is not the first language. They have a native language other than English. And then in many schools, over 80% have free and reduced lunch. So we're talking about a population that we absolutely need to pay attention to and provide access to so that they are not left out of the equation.
Would you encourage other women to run for not just the state legislature, but other offices in Arkansas, and why?
Yes, I definitely would encourage women to run. There are many places that need women sitting at the table making those decisions, and at least voicing the concerns from a woman's point of view, being that women, many of them are married, or many have families. They know the community, they're ingrained in the community. And sometimes when you're not at the table, there are things that can be easily forgotten. So representation matters when it comes to women, because of our points of view and our background experiences.
Now, you did lose by only 109 votes. Would that fact you think should discourage a woman from running?
No, I do not.
You could lose. I mean,
of course, yes. And so one of the things that one has to be aware of, if they choose to run for office, someone is going to win and someone is not. And that is just a fact. And so, of course, you want to win, and you're going to do everything that you can possibly do to make that happen. But at the end of the voting day, and when the results come, you're not sure what's going to happen until that announcement comes forth. And when it does, and if you win, that is awesome. Everything you've worked so hard for is coming to fruition. However, if you don't win after conceding, your opponent will have even a greater love for all the people that surrounded you during your campaign. And it's not the end. You did the best that you could, but it just wasn't meant to be. At that point in time, it just wasn't meant to be. So I would say if you're going to run, you have to put that to the forefront right away. The other thing in terms of running, once you make that decision to run, and of course, the very first thing that I would advise everyone to do is you must talk with your entire family, because it does take a lot of time. You're going to be at a lot of different events. You're going to be knocking doors. You're going to be planning and going to fundraisers. It's very time intensive, and it even gets even more time the closer it gets to the election. So your family has to understand that. And at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice important events. You're not going to miss your child's graduation. You're not going to, of course, if, you're a mom, you're not going to say, I can't tend to my daughter, even though the phone is ringing saying that she's hurt, or whatever, you're still a mom, you're still a wife. You have to set those priorities, but your family should know the amount of time. And generally, they're usually very supportive, and they're going to help you every way that they can.
So do you think that there was something special about running as a Latina in Arkansas for you?
Yes. I can't tell you how many times I knocked doors and another Latina would open the door and see me, and sometimes they would know who I was, but then sometimes they didn't. And so when they would open the door, I would let them know what I was doing, and I could tell them, I'm running for office, tell them my name, Diana Gonzalez Worthen. Estoy corriendo para una oficina en el Distrito 9. I'm running for office in District 9. And you just see this big beaming smile and many times, oh, thank you for running. We don't have enough women out there representing us that know us. Not only that, just being able to flip-flop back and forth in Spanish and English, that was wonderful. Spanish is my second language, so I always apologize to people that it's not going to be perfect, but having moved to Arkansas over 26 years ago, it's improved actually. So normally people can understand me fine. But that was to me very special. And sometimes more than once, I was invited into the living room to talk to the whole family. And that's the other part of when you run for office as well. And I would say being a Latina, and that is Latinos in general, oftentimes are still new to the voting process, to the process of what it means to run for office. And so there's a lot of voter education that you do. And so I would register people on the spot. Sometimes families were mixed families in that some could vote and some were not yet citizens. They were residents, but they're not yet citizens. And so having those mixed status families, sometimes they're not sure exactly what all that means. They're ready to register to vote, but then, when you ask, okay, are you a U.S. citizen? Well, no, not yet, but they're ready to vote. So it's kind of that kind of thing going on. And then of course, asking, okay, you're not able to register to vote, but are there any other family members? Do you have other family friends that might be, and maybe they're not registered to vote? Oh yes, such and such just became a citizen last week. And having those conversations, that it was just wonderful, because you're doing that voter education, you're getting more people engaged in the political process, and that's an ongoing thing, so that's the other thing. If you're going to run, you're going to be doing a lot of voter education as well.
So what I guess you would especially like to encourage Latinas to run?
Yes, absolutely, because we're a rarity. Okay, so we still do not have one in the state legislature. It's 2023, so the Latino population has been here for a while now, and we still do not have that representation. We do have Latinos across the board in other cities that may serve on the school board, for example, or local city council, even JP districts from across the state. But at the state level, we still do not have that. So absolutely, I would encourage Latinas to run. You're going to have your whole family behind you, and be ready. I would say be ready, because people are going to ask you, how can I help you? I want to help you. How can I help you? And so have that list of things that you absolutely need. My comadre, who is my, I'm the god, her child is my godson. She was my treasurer. she wanted to help me. She didn't know exactly how. And so when we began talking, she had some bookkeeping experience and the like, and she ended up being my treasurer, and she was awesome. And that was a major, major gift for me. And that's how she wanted to assist me in a big way, but didn't know quite how to do that. And so that really helped me. I had a dear friend who said, I want to go door to door with you. I want to canvas with you. I can only do it on Tuesday evenings after, say, 5:30 in the evening. And every Tuesday she was with me, every Tuesday. And so just people will want to help you. You just have to be ready to say, the candidate needs to be ready. Yes, we need help. This is where you can help us. Phone banking. I had former students of mine that they wanted to help me. I taught in at Rogers High School at one time when we first moved to Arkansas. And my students, that was over 20 years ago, they wanted to help me. So I had several, they did phone banking, and that was a tremendous help. I had another, she led my social media on Facebook and the like. So there are many people that you'll come out of the woodwork. So don't be afraid, because they'll be excited. Everyone wants to see representation at the state capitol. And not only the Latino population wants that. I mean, a lot of people want that, because then you have that seat at the table. Yes, you represent your district, but those same issues, if it's education, if it's higher ed or mental health, that exists across the state. It's not just in District 9. So that's what's appealing running for office at the state level, because you know that there are people in all the rest of the districts that are needing that access or that assistance through a new law.
Would you also encourage young women, especially Latinas, to run for other offices like JP?
Yes. And so at the local level, school board, I mean, that would be awesome. That's at the local level, and city council at the city level, county level, running for a JP in a district, in your district. And then, of course, you've got your state offices and your federal offices on top of that. And so just knowing how all of that works, the local, the county, state, federal, that is also part of voter education as well, because a lot of times people don't know exactly where they feel like they're the best fit. And so just getting to know that there's a lot of different places where you can serve, where your voice is very important to be at the table.
I hope all these women will listen to you, Latina, non-Latina, everybody, and realize how important it is to step up and to run and to represent your community and to represent the state.
Yes.
And so I thank you so much for helping us reach out to women, and you're an inspiration to all of us. And I know that whatever you decide to do, you're going to continue working hard for the community and everybody. And we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Bettina. And I think one thing I didn't quite emphasize that I want to emphasize: as a woman, women help women. Women help women. Right. So, PAWPAC, Merge Arkansas, Democratic Women. I mean, there's a lot of progressive women. And then women's groups from across the board. There's all kinds of women's organizations that I have been a part of, or that I learned about once I decided to run. And so again, that women help women, and they elevate women. They want that voice at the table. So yes, I just wanted to make sure that I said that.
And any woman, progressive woman who decides to run, PAWPAC, we're here to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. Bye-bye.